Hi everybody. I'm writing a article about the disabled people and the differences between uh, service animals, emotional support animals, and plain old pets. I might also write about, therapy animals and other purposes that animals serve in disabled people's lives. I'd like to hear from disabled people, and particularly disabled people who have service animals. And of course, one thing that is true under the Americans with Disabilities Act is a service animal, which is a working animal, can only be a dog, or in some circumstances, it can be a miniature horse. That's one thing that is a very strict rule. And the reason it can only be those species is a dog is very trainable. Dogs are intelligent species and they evolved with humans. A certain percentage of people, for one reason or another, can't have a dog. They might be allergic to dog dander. Some Muslim people think dogs are dirty. And anyway, they need an alternative, and the alternative that is given by the Americans with Disability Act is the miniature horse. Okay, but those are the only two service animals. Emotional support animals do not have nearly the same legal rights, not the animal doesn't have the legal rights, but the handlers don't have nearly the same legal rights to have the animals with them as do those with service animals. Because service animals are trained for specific tasks to make the disabled person's life easier. Okay, but it's a different thing with emotional support animals. Anyway, the reason I'm doing this video, I'd like to hear from people who have service animals or emotional support animals and tell me how this has made your life better. And I'd like to also hear from you about any problems that have been caused because of confusion between service animals and emotional support animals, or service animals and pets, or emotional support animals and pets. Okay, so please let me know. Okay, and I always appreciate feedback. Thank you to anybody who answers and talks to me about this subject. Because I would like to enrich my article with not just facts, but with people talking about how these animals, the effect these animals have had on your lives as disabled people.